What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Weird Red Beard channel. Make sure you guys go on Facebook, hit that like, hit that follow button. We stream all the time. We'd love to see you. So now I'm basically just doing a video to kind of help out people that are newer to the game, show them kind of what I do for my inventory, and give them some tips and tricks as to how to manage your inventory properly, especially if you have that smaller version of the game. And then also some tricks as to how to loot and actually get more efficient loot out of each and every raid. Now, one thing that I did in the beginning is I paid attention. After you get to level 10, you can use that flea market. Before level 10, some of these tricks don't really work. Once you use that flea market, you're able to actually kind of sit in there and see how much different things cost. So you'll know that, hey, this graphics card is great. It'll get me almost 300k on the market as of this video right now. Where if you're at a dealer, I think it's only like 100k to turn it into a dealer. Those are the type of things that you want to keep in the beginning, so that once you actually get that flea market opened up, you can sell it on the flea market for more than that. So that's like tip number one for your looting. Make sure you keep higher end items, things like graphics cards, LEDXs, lion statues. Those are things that you're not only going to need for quests in the long term, but will sell for exponentially more than what you're going to get from a dealer. So if you make sure you keep those, put them in a separate spot of your stash. Don't sell them, even if you need the space, because they're going to pay off in the long run and help you get some of the boxes that you'll see in this video. So for the actual looting, my second tip for everybody, I use general rule when I'm looting. 10k a slot. So if I have a wrench on the ground in front of me that's 7k, I'm not going to pick it up. And some people think that might be wrong. This is how I do things, and that's okay. I don't overclutter my bag. I like my bag to be as empty as possible based on that 10k rule. So if that wrench is, I have nothing in my bag and I find that wrench, I'm not going to pick it up. I'm not going to put it in my bag because one, it's going to clutter the bag. So if I go kill a PMC 2 minutes from now and my bag is completely full, I have to go through and empty out each and everything instead of just putting everything in the bag. This way I know, hey, these are the good items that I found in the raid. They're going to make me the most money. Yeah, and it sometimes does bite me in the butt. If I end up with half of a bag full, then I have spaces I didn't use. And I could have picked up more stuff. And that's where the plan will kind of change the closer I get to extract. But the general rule is 10k a slot, because it's very rare that I'm not full on loot before I leave. And especially, like I said, if you kill a PMC, he's got armor, he's got helmets, especially in the early game. If you kill like a level 45 and he's got a Gazelle armor, a Bastion helmet, and an M4, you want to be able to carry all that with you and not lose what you have on your actual guy without having to take all this clutter and take more time looting the body when you're still new to the game. So that's my general rule, is 10k per slot. Honestly, obviously, like in the beginning, you may not know each item how much it's worth, but you'll start learning as you go. So pay attention when you sell to the dealer before level 10 and say, oh, this is worth 3,000. Okay, maybe I shouldn't really focus on that item when this item's worth 10. Okay, so we know we got to pick up more of those. But once you get to the flea market, like I said, it'll become more natural to you, because you'll filter search quite a bit to put items up, and you'll start knowing kind of their approximate values. Now, they fluctuate a lot, so that does make things a little harder. But that's my second tip for what's going on in terms of looting itself. You want to pay attention to, especially in your early games, tip number 3, make sure you don't grab body armor that's really depleted. So like in my stash right here, you can see this Gazelle armor is 56 out of 56, or 56.4 out of 56.4. So that's a really full armor. Now, if I was to find that, it's not found in raid, so it doesn't have the little check mark on it, so I can't sell it on the flea market, and it only has 2 out of 64 on it, that's going to be a lot of money to repair that armor. You're better off just leaving it on the ground, or even if you do have the space, bringing it and selling it to the fence. He'll take almost any armor, any level. He just won't give you much money for it. So if you have an empty backpack, then maybe throw it in there. But it's not something I'm bringing back with the purpose of wanting to use it. Let somebody get that back for their insurance. You already killed them. You already made them swear up and down because they got shot by a lower level, or even a higher level if you're watching this. Just leave it on the ground. Let them have it. Let some other hatchet boy come in and take it. Give it to somebody who needs it. So don't, like I said, don't grab any high armor that is low durability. That's going to cause a lot of issues for you. Another tip too is if you are looting PMC, say, that you killed and you don't have space for the gun, take the parts off the gun that you can. Take the scope. If you don't have a full 8 slots for a AK, take the scope, take the mag, take the silencers especially, take all of that stuff, the foregrips, the things that are going to cost you money to build a new gun, but you don't have the space for the other ones, because most of the time the scopes, the foregrips, the silencers, those are all going to be over 20k, and they're usually 1 or 2 slots. So make sure you grab those. I mean, those are going to help you out a lot in terms of you upgrading your gun, especially in the lower levels when you don't have access to the flea market. You can be able to kind of pick and choose different parts to put on your weapons that you can get access to, and go from there. That'll help fill up your book bag, and it won't clutter it with this big gun, especially if it's something you don't use. So that's tip number 3. I think that's about it. What I have for tips for looting. Just kind of keep your head up. If you get killed with a bunch of loot, don't worry about it. It'll come around. Money is a big deal in this game, but money does come and go. So if you start getting low on cash, use those scav runs. Go through, use these tips. Do that 10k a slot, especially if you run something like reserve. Don't be afraid to go slow. Avoid battles. That's all stuff that we did in the beginning of the game. So don't be afraid of it. Don't let it discourage you. Take your time. Learn. Just a general tip to help everybody out too. If you're having trouble with all of this stuff, the way the game works, just kind of learning it, do offline raids. They are a godsend when it comes to learning this game. Pull up a map on your second screen if you do have one, or your phone, or even print them out. I knew somebody who went to Stables that just sent all the maps to them. They printed them out, and they have good color copies of the maps now. So that's something to kind of keep your eyes on. You can go in offline raid, turn off all scavs, and kind of just walk around the map and learn what it is. I myself am doing that right now with labs. I don't run labs very much, even though I am a streamer. I just don't run labs very much. It has its own flaws right now, and I don't know the map very well. So I've been doing a lot of offline modes that are helping me kind of learn the ins and outs of the map using the different key cards that I have. So that's another good thing here. Now we'll just kind of dive into my actual stash right here, and I'll kind of show you. Now some of this stuff is not stuff that you can do on lower levels until you get that flea market, different missions to get different things. So I understand that, but this will help you kind of know where to go from there, and give you a gist of stuff that you can do on the lower levels even without this. So first things first, when I started out and I was doing especially if you have that small stash and everything like that, make sure you go through and upgrade that stash in your hideout. In your hideout, your stash can go, I think it's 4 levels. Let's check. Yeah, your stash can go up 4 levels. So I know the first level requires a hand drill, some WD-40. Focus on those items. Those items spawn a lot in maps like Interchange, where you have Ollie and you have Idea that have all the big warehouse shelves. Go look for those items. Use your scav runs to do that. It'll help upgrade your stash so you have more room for things. Another big tip for earlier on is your book bags. Make sure you're doing backpackception, as it's always referred to. Take your biggest bag and start stacking little ones inside of it. Don't put anything in them. Just stack your bags together. Don't get crazy. I mean, if you have... I have actually probably the max amount of bags I'll use. I usually carry 4 or 5 small ones, and then some of the bigger bags. I know like the Pilgrim that's found in Raid, you're going to need that for a quest at some point. So I know that, and I'm keeping one for that specific quest. But as you stack them through, instead of those bags taking up individual slots, they're going to take up whatever the biggest bag is in your inventory. So another thing to work towards, make sure you guys are saving those blue and green gunpowders. They will be able to trade in for a ammo case. I believe it's 5 blue and 2 green as of this, maybe 3 green. Let's take a look. Level 1. Yep. All right, so 5 blue, 2 green will trade in for an ammo box. So make sure you're saving those gunpowders. Don't throw them away. Don't sell them. Once you get a couple of those ammo cases, the blue gunpowders are at this point in the wipe are kind of pointless to pick up. They're 10K a pop, so don't be worried if you did sell them already and you're like almost level 10. You can buy them on the flea market for pretty cheap. The green ones are a little more expensive. I believe they were about 50K last time I looked. But those ammo cases are going to help you a lot when it comes to getting that loose ammo off of your stash screen and into a box. Because they only count as 4, but they'll hold 49. So what I do is I kind of organize the ammo. I only keep ammo that I'm going to use. I'm not keeping ammo for guns that I don't have or guns that I don't plan on using in the future. So I have a full box for 5.56 by 45, which is the M4s. That's what they use. Your 8Rs, things like that. I keep tons of that. I use those guns all the time. They're very helpful. Then I'll use like the pistol ammo. So I run an MPX every once in a while. So I'll make sure I have like AP 6.3 ammo. A big help with knowing which ammo to keep and which ammo to sell is to use an app called Battle Buddy. Battle Buddy will give you the exact penetration and damage each round does per caliber that you're looking for. So it'll help you kind of take away from this. Now I have some random stuff laying around here because I was trying to do your scav kills on woods, where I'm not really worried about what a scav is wearing and how much penetration it does, because I'm going to aim for the head, shoot them in the head, and they're going to drop no matter what shotgun round I'm using. So that's why I have a variant of shotgun shells here. You want your BP ammo for your 7.62, stuff like that. Same thing over here. Like I keep M61, M62 ammo. I do keep some M80 because I will run a hunter every once in a while where I'm not really worried about losing the gun. It's usually when I'm trying to get scav kills also for missions. So that's why I keep some of that spare ammo around so I don't have to buy it when the time comes. So that's where the ammo cases really, they do come in handy. I have so much ammo in those slots, and all they're taking up right now is 12. So it helps a lot. I always organize up here with my quest items. So any markers I need right now, I'm going to put those right there. I personally, this is my own thought process, I like docs cases for the beginning when you start getting the flea market open. Helps you carry a lot of keys. I always carry extra 10,000 rubles in anything. If I'm in early game, right, and I just have my gamma container where I personally put my meds, my CMS kits, serve kits, stuff like that. I'm going to put in there 10,000 rubles. So if this was just me without this sick case or without the docs cases, I'm going to run 10,000 rubles right here. They'll take up a slot, which isn't always fun, and there is times where I'll take those 10,000 rubles out and I'll put it in my backpack because I find a graphics card or something like that that's worth more money than the items I'm taking out. But it allows me to get out of those extracts. You have an extract that's in customs, you have extracts in woods and other maps that cost rubles to actually use. And they come really handy. If you have a big fight in dorms, you get some good loot, and there's still half the map to go across with 50 kilograms of loot. Like, you just want to get out of there. You don't want to have to walk all the way over the ZB 1011 or Crossroads with all that loot. So you just pop outside, go down to the car, pay the 7,000 rubles, wait the minute, and get out. It's very useful. I also will use my purified water just finished. I'll also always bring painkillers. I always bring a surgery kit. I always bring splints, and I always bring some sort of healing in my actual gamma container. Now, the healing I bring is always something that will also act as a bandage. So usually I'll bring an IFAK in. It's the smallest you can get, and it'll heal 300, including bandaging you up if you have a bleed going on. So that's kind of just a gist of what I always bring in my gamma container. Like I said, if I find a lion, I'm going to take out all the meds, put them in my backpack, and put that lion in there so it's safe, and if I don't get out and I die, I can keep that lion. Graphics cards, LEDXs, ophthalmoscopes, stuff like that that's going to be worth, even at a dealer, over 50K, I'm going to throw it in there. So I also have a key tool that has random keys for my inventory. That way they're not just laying around all loose. In the beginning, what I did is I used a backpack. So kind of like I am doing here, I would take a backpack out of here, set it down low, and just put keys in it. Keys, quest items, money, because you don't have that money case in the beginning. Now, that's kind of the gist of what I did in the beginning. Now, the big thing that you gotta be careful with is not to keep keys that you don't need. Make sure you kind of look at your stash every once in a while and be like, hey, let me see if I have any duplicate keys or any keys I don't use. It can be so how I play and it keeps the clutter gone is any keys that I don't know about that are in good spots because I do a lot of research. If they take up a slot in my inventory, and I just sell them. And you don't need those things laying around if you're not going to use it. So if you're going to go into dorms and you're too scared to sit around and open, I don't say scared. If you're just kind of not used to the area and you just don't know what you're looking at, don't keep 16 keys for dorms in your gamma container on a key ring or anything like that, because you're not going to sit there and take the time to go through all those rooms and possibly get ambushed by another team after you're looting the people that are there. I like to, in all my raids, have a path that I go through. So what I will do is I don't even carry very many keys for dorms. I carry 2 keys for dorms. What I do whenever I go there is I go in the 3-story building. I'm going to hit the marked room, and I'm going to hit the safe directly below the marked room on level 2. Other than that, I'm not touching the rest of it because I'm going to go up to that marked room, take care of any PMCs that are in the 3 stories dorms while I'm there, get the stuff from that marked room, go down to the 2nd floor, hit that safe so I can get the money and anything else that pops up in there, and go out that back door, whether I continue the raid or just get out right there. That's the line that I run. And it's efficient. It gets me out. If I get stuck in there looting, I don't have to worry about checking 6 other rooms also that may have low-level loot in there. Now, I know there are some keys in dorms that are worth it. So don't take that as me saying that no other keys in dorms are worth you spending the money or spending the space to bring with you. I know there are. But this is how I run it, and it's efficient. I get good loot, and there's no issues. I don't end up looting for 20 minutes, and then some big thick boy comes in and shoots me in the face. I deal with the problems that I have right there. I'm in and out in 5 to 10 minutes, usually, and I can go on with my day. My raids go faster, and I don't deal with as many people grenading me randomly because they see a pile of bodies while I'm looting. So that's kind of the gist there. One of the first things I've bought when I did this wipe was a dog tags case. Once I got past the level 10 and I had the extra cash because I saved my money a lot in the beginning. I went and spent the almost $500,000 on the dog tags case so that I didn't have to carry multiple tags in my gamma container every time. So what you can do is you can throw this dog tags case right in here. It's usually in my slots here. I have 2 of them because I have them full. So it holds 100 dog tags. Now, you can, in the beginning, I was just keeping any dog tag that's over level 10 to level 10 and over. The reason being is if you go to the therapist, go down to your lucky scab box, which I believe you unlock level 2. Yeah, level 2. Instead of having to pay the 1.9 million rubles for it, which you can actually get for cheaper if you go to your flea market, I believe it's somewhere around 900,000 instead. But you can trade in 100 level 10 tags or higher for this lucky scab box, and that's a big help, especially with people who don't have that extended game and the bigger stash. Because you're going to be able to open it up and have, I think it's 198 spots to put anything that's loot. So that's going to help any of you early gamers who haven't gotten to that point yet. Save your money up. Save that 900,000 or save your tags if you're getting a lot of kills. Because you're going to want this to declutter everything that you're doing, because you still need to save these items for quests. I'm saving up right now for Red Rebel. So I have a whole bunch of fuel conditioners. I have a whole bunch of propanes in here. That's going to help me with that Red Rebel, defuel, stuff like that. So it allows me to actually put it all in here and not have all that clutter taking up these big spaces. even with the big inventory, if I didn't have that box, this whole thing's going to be all clutter. So that's another tip for your inventory. I know I'm just kind of speaking around, so just guys take it as it comes. Gonna just kind of wing it, and we're gonna go through kind of what my inventory is. Like I said, it's not as organized, but this is where we're at. So now I have 3 medical cases. I would not suggest to get 3 medical cases. I was new to this game, this wipe, so I bought a medical case on the flea market and traded it in for a medical case also. So they were never found in raid. I didn't know I couldn't get rid of them when I did the trade for the medical case, so I have 3 instead of 2. I personally would only go with 2 because you don't need an abundance of actual medical items because you're going to find them a lot. You're going to kill somebody and they're going to have a bunch in their book bag, or you're going to go to the new medical building on customs and it's going to be full of them. So just keep that in mind as you go. So I have 3. What I do is I put my cheese or anything in here, anything that's surgery or makes limbs look better, I'm going to put right in here. That's just the way I organize it. You can do whatever you want. I'm just show you kind of the baseline of what I do. I like it and it works really well, especially when it comes to those scav runs where you get a lot of stuff. You know exactly where to put each item that you want to keep, and then you can just sell the rest. I usually can go through a scav run, get a full loadout of stuff, and be completely done clearing it out, selling what I want, putting what I want up on the flea market in about 5 minutes, and I'm back to the next raid. It helps your money so much. Helps your confidence being able to do more and more raids. In case you have a bad one, then you get a couple good ones. It just helps a lot. So go through here. Now I left this in here because I want to kind of show you. I have a IFAC that's 17 left. This is not something that I would keep. Take that, put it out, sell it to the therapist, get rid of it because you don't need it. You're never going to just sit there and be like, oh, well, I need to do 17 health. But nothing else, especially with an IFAC. If it's low, it's not going to even bandage you up, so you'll keep bleeding. Even though you healed 17, you'll keep bleeding. So keep that in mind as you go through. Then I have my pain management. So I keep a lot of painkillers. If I'm running a low budget build, I'll just throw some painkillers in my book bag. I'm not going to bring a gold star with me. Usually I have a gold star right here in this bag instead of ibuprofen. But if I'm running anything like ibuprofen, gold star, Vaseline, I'm going to leave that in my gamma container for as long as possible. Gold star, $75,000 right now. So I don't want to have to lose $75K when I die. It can just stay there and you don't have to worry about anything. Never take your dog tags case out. Never take your sick case out. Those don't want to be anywhere where you can lose them. They're really hard to replace. But so anyways, this spot, I'm going to put all my splints. I'm going to put all my bandages. I'm going to put all of my meds. And then the random slot, I marked it random. Really, it's any build items. So these syringes you can build for med cases if you really need to. I haven't really needed to. I haven't been collecting them, so they just kind of sit here. Any of these random hydrogen peroxide, stuff like that is found in raid that you might need for a quest, I leave. Meds I keep too because those are build items for your hideout. This Vaseline actually should be in pain management. It should not be there, so it's right there. And then I keep all my syringes. So injectors, stuff like that, leave right in there. Any LEDXs I found that I was going to keep if I need them for a mission, I'm going to put them in here too. Yeah, you should be able to. All right, so that about covers medical. That's where all my medical stuff goes. You'll never see any medical except for these 2 that we're going to sell out of those boxes. Very rarely do I have anything out of the boxes, period, especially now that I have this thick weapons case. And I'll show you that in a little bit. So that brings us down to our mag boxes. Now, I have mine labeled in ways that people aren't going to understand because those are the names that I wanted them to be. So we have our Bang Bangs mag box right now. Now this has random mags, some that wouldn't fit in these 2 because these are my 2 main mag cases, but they are all organized with only guns that I will use. Don't ever keep mags for guns you don't use. Make sure you empty the ammo out, sell the ammo separate from the actual mag to the mechanic. Or if it's a really good mag, like if you find a 40 round MP7 mag out in the world, it's found in raid, put that thing up on the flea market. It's like $60,000 per mag. So that'll help you out a lot. But if you search it on the flea market and it's not worth very much money, go to the mechanic. He sells for the best as of right now, as this video was made, for most mags. So take them all out, sell them if you don't have the guns for them, because what's going to happen is when you find a gun on a scav, you're going to have mags for them right in their tac vest. So we'll go ahead and do that. Now that's another tip for new guys that are looting. Make sure you guys grab the mags for the guns you take. Don't get scared to take a gun and then don't grab the mags because you think someone's coming. Make sure you grab those mags, so you're gonna need them. Not all the mags for all the guns or the ammo can you actually find in the beginning, so it kind of limits you. So make sure you grab as much as you can when it comes to those items in the very beginning. After that, it's not a big deal. You're gonna find M4s and gun boxes that don't have mags, stuff like that, and you can go and link search it and find those mags when you need to. Usually mags aren't that expensive no matter what. So, like I said, I have some AKM mags. I have some AK mags in here, FAL mags, mags for my MDRs, pistol mags especially, and my P90 mags. Now, those pistol mags and P90 mags are usually in this case. I don't have any issues. I have the other one pretty full right now. I'm looking into getting some more mag cases because I want to make this system even better. But this is kind of just a random case of things that I'm going to keep that I do have guns for. Now, I have a Mama and Papa case. Now, the Mama case is all AK mags. You're going to have your bigger mags. Now, I do have a couple FAL mags. These are supposed to be in here. So, we'll move those over and put these back. I ended up running an FAL earlier today, so that's kind of why they're there. But this has all my AK mags in it. So, it's either for the 545 AKs or the 762 AKs. Doesn't matter. They go in this case. This way, I don't keep too many of them, because I don't have very many guns that run them. But I can also keep these mags. I usually try to leave them pretty empty because all my ammo is going to be in here. So I don't have to go and be like, oh, well, I want to run the 60 round mag. Let me take ammo out of 230s. No, I can go in my ammo case and just pop that 60 rounds directly into the gun. So that's what I use for mine. I run a lot of AKs and a lot of M4s. So that's kind of the reason I have these two boxes, is because it allows me to keep those mags completely separate. I know exactly where they are. When I'm done using the gun, if I'm switching guns, I can just drag them over, drop them in those specific mag boxes, and move on to the next gun. So there's not random mags all over my inventory sitting around. Now, what you can do to substitute that when you don't have mag boxes is just pick a spot in your stash to either put the mags of certain types of guns, if that helps you, or what I did in the beginning is I took the gun, I put it in the stash, and then I Tetrised the mags around the gun. That way I knew, hey, I have this gun, this many mags. So if I found a random M4 in a weapons box, I can just take that mag or take that gun, set it aside. I know I have no mags for it. Now that does get a little tricky if you have some ADRs and stuff that are kind of hanging around. You can use those mags for M4s, but you can cover that when you get to it. But that'll help you organize and keep everything separate. And then my last box is this one. I try to use is mostly my SMG box. I have a lot of my MPX drum mags, MP7 mags in here. I do have some pistol mags in here, but those are for FN pistols, something I actually run pretty frequently. And then I have my P mags for my MDR in here also. These ones are full. I just took them off my gun today. So I don't use this case as much. It's kind of where the overflow goes, because I don't run those weapons as often, and this is just kind of full of stuff that I'm going to use. So I kind of just use these three for the most part, and this is just kind of overflow. Then you're going to want to get, once you get high enough level, get yourself a grenades box. You can get one in a quest for skier. So personally, these are 3-part quests down the road. You have to pick either the skier, therapist, or proper reward. Make sure you guys take the skier. I took the therapist this time because I didn't know any better, and I lost a lot of money because there are other quests for the other two that are going to just cost you money to get back in good standings with them. So when I took the quest for therapist, I had to pay skier 1 million rubles and give proper 10 M67 grenades. So that set me back quite a bit. All I got out of it was a med case and a couple of little things. So just a heads up on that. But anyways, I organize these by grenade type. I use a lot of the F1s and a lot of the RGDs. So those are pretty low usually, so I only give them 1 row usually a piece. Stun grenades, I don't use very many of them, so I kind of line them up. You can sell them if you don't use them. I mean, I use them a lot in the night raids. But other than that, I don't really use them much. So moving on. You have your last one on this side here. We have our food, just any food items that go through. Make sure you're keeping sugar. Make sure you're keeping chocolate, because sugar and chocolate's going to become very vital when it comes to making moonshine in the late game. If you're already there, obviously keep that stuff. It's really expensive. Sugar right now is I think up to almost 90K. So it's not cheap. It's not cheap, and the chocolate's about 40 to make the sugar. So either way, you're spending a lot of money just to make one thing of moonshine, which costs purified water and 2 sugars. So just something to think about as you're going through. So we got that taken care of. Now we went over the docs case. I always use a money case now. You can put big coins in it, any sorts of money that you find. So it's very useful. Keeps it decluttered. You don't have random stacks of money. Before I got this, I was using a tea bag. I just put it in the upper right corner, and I put everything in there. So now that we got that all taken care of, we can go down here. I use 2 mechanism bags to hold. This is for now until I can get items cases. Use them to hold helmets, tack headsets, and any sort of face cover that I have. Night vision included. So in this one, I'll put just helmets up here and just contacts down here. And then in my next bag, I'll have my face coverings. Right now, it has a couple night vision in there. I'll also overflow it usually with some headsets. And this will turn more into a full helmet bag. But I'm a little low on helmets right now. I just went through a whole purge to buy some lead X's in order to upgrade, or to turn in a quest so I could get the big thick items case. And I sold that for 15 million. So I'm a little low on stuff right now. So we scroll down. Now, normally all this would be is armor left side, weapons right side. That's all it is. I start at the bottom. I don't put anything else down here. No gun parts, nothing like that. Now, I went and got a thick case. You could also do the same thing with a regular weapons case, which only will cost you 13 bitcoins, or I think it's like 3.6 million rubles on the flea market right now. I bought the thick case. It's a little bigger, and it's about 7 million as of this video. I just put weapons in there down low, and I always run this Hollow Sun tack device. So I have 4 of those, and then one of these, which is basically the same thing, all right up here. So when I grab a gun, I can make sure that it has the device on it. Take it out, put it on my person. So I have this one right here. I believe that the device is on the side. Take the gun out of there, put it on my guy. Go up to my mama box and grab 3 mags for this gun. Go to the ammo box, put the ammo on there, done, you're ready. And this will also let you kind of keep some items that you need for quests. So like right now I'm trying to do PMC kills on Shoreline, but I also have to be wearing, in order to do those PMC kills, a scab vest and a balaclava. So I'll have those usually in abundance on here. Like I said, I purged everything to make sure I got enough to get those lead X's and to pay for the 2 million offer bonus that you have to put out there to sell the thick items case. So I'm a little low. But that's the gist of kind of what I do for my stash, and make sure that it's kind of neat, keeps everything together. And like I said, the biggest thing is being able to get out of those scav raids where you get a whole bunch of loot and just take them and throw them right in the right boxes, get rid of what you don't want, and kind of go from there. So that's the kind of the gist of what's going on here. My last leaving tip when it comes to looting, what I'll leave you guys with, is make sure that when you go and check scavs, don't go through their tack vests unless you need their specific mags for their gun. Their mags for their gun will always be in their tack vest, sometimes in their pocket if they don't have a tack vest. What I do is when I kill a scav, if I am doing a scav run, I'll check for a book bag if it's bigger than mine. I will sometimes take their tack vest, or I'm going to just check their pockets most likely. If I have a guy who's already got a helmet, already got a headset, face cover, body armor, if the body armor that I find in that scav is not better than mine, I'm going to leave it there unless I know it'll sell. Some body armors will still sell pretty well in the flea market, so I'll throw that in the book bag. But what I'm looking at is I'll kill the scav. If I already have a good backpack and I'm already pretty set up, I'm going to check just their pockets, because their pockets can have up to 50,000 rubles in there. If they have backpacks and I have time, I'm gonna check that too, because you can find labs cards, um, different ammunition, fuel, stuff like that in their book bags. So I'm gonna go through and I'm just gonna do the pockets. I'm gonna just check any backpacks they have. Then I'm gonna leave that person alone. Never gonna even hit the tack vest. And that's how I run it. It keeps it efficient. You're not looting too long and going about it. If you guys have any questions, feel free, come and stop by on the Facebook channel. Whenever we're live, I'm here. I'm willing to answer any questions you guys have. Just make sure you come by, hit that like, hit that follow button. Let me know you enjoyed the video. I mean, I make these videos to kind of help people out, and I want them to get use out of it. I mean, that's why I'm here. So, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed the content. I hope you have a good day, and good luck on your raids.